everybody, welcome back to Rumor Flies. I'm Josh.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Greg.
Today we're here with our friends, fellow Dark Myths podcast collective people, Blurry Photos, Dave and David. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Awesome.
Dave and David, Stecco and Flora, please stand up,
Yep.
tell the classroom who you are, something about you, what's your most traumatic experience from elementary school?
Oh, that's awesome. Flora?
I've got a bunch. Oh, I can't wait.
My childhood's really sad.
I've been waiting for this.
I'm David Flora. Should I just
Just go for it.
just go for it without you? Okay. I'm David Flora. We host Dave and I host the Blurry Photos podcast.
Oh, no. I believe the request was for the trauma of your childhood.
Sorry, you're right.
I don't give a goddamn what you and I do. I want to know what makes you cry.
In 5th grade, maybe it was even younger than that. Maybe it was like 3rd grade. I was eating lunch, wasn't feeling good. Went to take my tray up to, the where you put your trays and dump the food and everything. And right as I was walking up, I just ralphed all in the tray. I mean, it was a meal and a half on that tray. I don't know. Hadn't eaten that much.
Okay.
And-
You actually
there were a
gave
couple-
them the full refund.
And there were like a couple of 7th grade girls standing there, and they're like, "Ah, gross! Oh my god!" And they just went off, and I was just like, it was pretty traumatic.
I love that.
Were you like trying to like support it and like not have it pool off the sides and stuff?
There was no time for that.
It was even in the
and from
fork
the-
slot. All right.
From that point forward,
It's
you were
in the
just that
bone.
kid who puked.
All right, David.
You know what? I that
I
never
heard you were
tasted
making
me.
out with a lunch lady and then you puked in her mouth. That's what I heard.
I heard that you had a baby with the lunch lady in the closet, and I opened the closet, and the baby waved at me, and then you puked on it.
It was
Stephanie Greenlaw told Brian Lawson that Beth Furlan was going to ask you out, but then she heard about what you did with the lunch lady.
and you had
Beth, no!
and you had a lunch baby.
All right, David Stecco.
Yes,
do you
I
also run Blurry Photos?
I do. I also, well, if Blurry Photos is a train, Flora is the hardworking, soot-covered guy in the engine, and I'm the dandy in the caboose sipping on Chablis.
Nobody's driving it.
Nobody is driving.
You're stoking the engine is just going.
Engine and dandy. Those are the two parts of the podcast.
That is a perfect metaphor.
So yeah,
All right.
I would. Yeah, but
wait a
I'm
minute.
part of it. That's for
Traumatic
sure.
story from you.
Yeah. Let's hear about what ruined your childhood.
This is what the people want to hear.
Oh, okay. When I was in 6th grade, we were having a pumpkin carving contest, and I decided I was really going to bat this one out of the ballpark. So I decided to bring an X-Acto knife with me from home.
Oh god.
And for safety, I just closed it in a book and then threw that book in my backpack.
That sounds good.
And then when I got to school, I was taking the backpack off. Of course, the X-Acto knife had come out. The X-Acto knife cut my side open.
Oh,
And I was like, what the hell was that? And there's this girl I had a crush on named Stephanie Hall. Oh, I hope she's listening. And then I lifted up my shirt and she looked at it and went, oh my God. And I looked down and yes, I was bleeding profusely, but not like crazy. There wasn't like anything coming out.
It wasn't like puke on a lunch tray.
So I spent the rest of the day, like I was so embarrassed by her reaction that I just kept taping paper towels to my side. and
Oh my
showing
God.
everybody.
Well, that's how blood fetishes start. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's all right.
You did this, Stephanie. Cut.
Well,
Yeah, so there's more than you ever wanted to know.
well, thank you for sharing those very personal experiences of your traumatic childhood, David.
Yeah.
David. Well, today is a really big moment in this podcast because it was a long. This episode has been a long time coming. We've as far as Rumor Flies goes, we have absolutely
Posturing and getting ready.
we've absolutely on Dr. Oz. Pretty much almost every episode.
I peed my pants one time in anger just talking about it. So.
Every
I pissed myself in rage.
It's been every chance that we get, we diarrhea all over Dr. Oz. And if you guys have listened to Blurry Photos, which if you don't, please make sure you do that.
Hey, let's explain them real quick.
All right, David, could you tell us a little bit about your show? Just get for people listening so they can know a little bit more about Blurry Photos.
Flora, I choose you. You're super effective.
I'd be happy to.
David Flora runs away.
Oh.
Should have used a raspberry,
confused.
asshole. We're a podcast that talks about traumatic elementary school stories and how that shapes the lives of. No, that's exactly what we don't talk about. We talk about myths and legends, history, weird sites, people in history that are strange or not well known or have some claim to paranormal fame. Fortiana, which is named after Charles Fort, one of the aforesaid. I always just run this damn train off the rails. Right.
Mysteries of the unexplained.
Right at this
That's
point.
what we do. Mysteries
And,
of the unexplained.
And we try to make each other laugh. We have a good humor about it, and if there's stuff that needs to be debunked, by golly, we'll go in there and debunk the hell out of it.
Throw it in the bunk trunk.
Righto, mate.
And so you get a healthy spattering of paranormal stuff and mixed with some hard liquor and a bunch of accents and dialects.
And guess what? They do it live sometimes. So there you go.
Yeah, we did it. We did do it live once.
And we were there for that. Yeah,
we were there.
Let's
how we
tell the
met
story
you
of how he
guys.
almost killed him for like the 4th time.
No, that's not happening. They can listen to their episode.
So I think the best way to explain Blurry Photos is you explore the unexplained and explain the unexplored. I think that is a nice little.
Boosh.
Somebody should put that on a kick-ass koozie. It's available for $5 and some change on a very cool website.
Yeah, Dave, show the microphone what they're talking about.
Yeah, I'm showing the microphone exactly what he's describing.
All right.
Well,
so,
if
Joke's on you, Flora. I was already on to my second beer.
well for people
How's that a joke? I'm so scared.
well for people that have listened to us and you've known that we have absolutely shit on Dr. Oz, and people that are fans of Blurry Photos know that Alex Jones is always a hot topic of discussion. And so we decided that there was no better way than to combine the two podcasts for this episode than to absolutely just collectively diarrhea on both of them.
so we're covering snake oil.
That's right. Hokum. Shim shams.
Yeah, so we are indeed part of the New World Order, looking to take down these people with our reptilian brothers is basically it.
Oh, did you guys get your checks and your insurance cards from the New World Order since we're shills for them?
Yeah, I
They
did.
taxed me 300 Z-blobs, and I did
Yeah.
not know where that came from.
Right. You know what? It's
I'm
like a
from
union
Venus,
dues
idiot.
thing. Because our first big payoff to sow disinformation about HARP, also the Z-Vlob tax. We
Yeah.
didn't understand it, but don't worry. You more than make up for it. That they'll send you your New World Order compliant.
Well, their 401k
coupon book.
match really makes
Worth
up for it.
Worth it.
Yeah, so we basically decided that there'd be no better way than to attack both of these topics and make them into one, because it's such a huge precedent in both of our podcasts. So
Yeah.
I guess we should explain a little bit who we're talking about. We're going to be tag teaming here. So in one corner, we have Dr. Oz, and this is who Rumor Flies will primarily be talking about. Dr. Oz is a cardiac surgeon and TV personality made famous after appearing several times as a health expert on The Oprah Winfrey Show. Eventually, he was given his own daytime show, and his target audience is primarily middle-aged to older women. That's from his own website, okay?
Oh, boy, I was almost triggered. Then I eased the hammer back on my privilege.
we have the statistics to back it up.
In the show, he covers a variety of health topics, both mental and physical. However, several of his topics have come under heavy scrutiny, and he is also a professor at the Columbia University. That was a bad non sequitur, but that's Dr. Oz in a nutshell.
Which, a little foreshadowing, they're not happy about that. I'll get to that later.
Anyway, so we got Dr. Oz down. So who's Alex Jones, guys? Stecco, Flora. Talk now!
Jones. Alex Jones is one of my favorite guiltiest pleasures. He is a right-wing conspiracist obsessed with the New World Order, what he calls the globalist agenda. He runs a radio show out of Austin, Texas. He
Really? Out of
panders
Austin?
to
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Austin, Texas.
he's
The
from
blue
his
home.
spot in the red state. Okay,
He's
whatever.
from
Yeah.
Dallas. He's from Dallas.
Well,
And
there's
so-
got to be a strong. There's got to be a at least one foothold in there for
Yeah, exactly.
freedom.
He's the red bullseye. Okay.
For freedom.
He is a staunch defender of liberty. He panders to the militia type. I guess a little bit to the libertarians. I guess there's a brand of libertarians he speaks to. But he's got a live radio show. He's posting videos all the time. An inordinate fan of Donald Trump. And he is also one of our favorite people to impersonate and make fun of.
Oh, well, you're going to have to eventually hit on that later on in this show.
Well,
Or-
The only reason I'm not doing it now is because I know I'll be doing it for the rest of the show.
and his big outlet is Infowars for people who
Yeah,
don't know.
Infowars.com. I genuinely recommend it to anybody for any reason.
Dude, there are so many Infowars stickers around this city. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there are tons of them on just light poles. He has a small army of people needlessly putting up stickers in the age of the internet. So,
Well, are you aware that there's a war on for your mind?
all right, the Jones meter is slowly rising. Eventually, it's going to go full Jones.
Yeah, exactly. That's when we all have to wear radiation suits and run.
Well, so we're gonna let you guys take the first topic. So whoever wants to jump in, you guys can go ahead.
And I guess a little bit of backstory before we go into this.
Oh,
The
yeah,
reason why
sure.
we're covering this is because both of these people are known to be involved in a little bit of misinfo. It's strange for a guy that runs a site called Infowars. But
Right.
this, I guess the blanket topic for this episode is going to be snake oil. And it's a dated term, but it's anything that sells as something that it doesn't actually do. Like, for instance, snake oil was known to heal a bunch of different remedies in the Old West.
Down
Anything
from the
that
far
ails it.
east,
Yeah,
from
exactly.
the deep East Indies, it heals the rickets, it cures baldness.
And then they started using heroin in the 20s, and that actually worked for something. But snake oil generally didn't work and became a blanket term for anything that generally is a sham. And it turns out that both of these people, that Dr. Oz has, he does not sell any products that he has on his show. But he does have tons of people with very questionable background on his show to present their facts. And it's one thing to not be selling it, but to be advocating it is another. And the reason why I have been so, I guess, militant against this guy is because he has the shittiest roundabout to things where you can have somebody on your show, but when you don't present any facts, converse to what those people are saying, then that means you're pretty much advocating it. It's not like you're going to have somebody on there. It's not like you're going to have Donald Trump on a Democratic show and then not give the Democratic side of it or anything like that.
Right.
So that is why we are covering this. And Alex Jones has, I don't know if you would call it like a step worse or just a step better because he's being straightforward. Alex Jones sells a ton of snake oil on his website, correct?
A ton of it, a metric ton of it. And it is the number one thing he is consistently pushing, not only in ad breaks, but while he's on a tirade, while he's talking about a subject. And this is why the liberal agenda doesn't want you to do this, and that's why it's so important for people to stockpile Macho Male X12. It is something that I personally use, that I personally endorse, and I just can't say enough about it. Now back to the subject. I mean, he'll like boom, he'll thread those back in there, and
Jones meter at 35%.
and 35% and rising, sir.
And also, that was not an exaggeration. That's a literal product, I'm pretty sure.
well, there's
yeah,
Get your own Jones meter now.
there's
yeah, exactly.
there's
If you need to know how much Alex Jones you're getting, if you care about what your children hear, you need the Jones meter.
Well, there's definitely
40%.
a lot of parallels between Dr. Oz and Alex Jones. Well, they may not be in the same field that they're, the target demographic. There's a lot of the same.
They share a message.
Yeah, exactly.
Make no mistake about that.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll stop dilly-dallying around it, and we'll let you guys guess go first, as you did for us on Bullstone. And all right, who's got what?
I think we will. I think we both have this. How about Secret 12? It is the vitamin B12 benefit of super advanced B12 It is a proprietary formula of a thing everyone on Earth has access to.
Which, Rumor Flies listeners, if you remember, we have covered B12 in some way, shape, or form in one of our previous episodes.
Good.
We can't name it.
I mean,
I have no idea what the episode is.
Remedies?
it was probably in the Hangover episode.
Yes, I think you hit the nail on the head. There we go. Okay. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Hey, Dave, thanks for listening to our show.
Hey, no problem, man.
All right, facts, Max. Hit us with some Max and facts.
All right.
Max those facts.
So, Super 12 is Alex Jones. My favorite part about all of his supplements and horseshittery is that he'll always say, "Now, I personally met with scientists and developed this formula." Like when Alex Jones takes his headphones off after ranting about the globalist, he puts on his lab coat, gets into his secret underground elevator where there's just beakers and test tubes and other scientists, and carefully, what are the results for the day? And there's like a 400-pound rabbit in a cage, and he's like, well, that's too strong. We'll have to dial it back for the people.
Oh man.
It is so Secret 12 is it's just vitamin B12. That's it. That is the secret.
The secret's out.
They just replaced the word vitamin with secret.
Ancient heavy-set Caucasian secret?
Yeah. Exactly. It's $29.95 from Infowars. Marked down because they're passing the savings on to Liberty.
That's just as good as GMC.
That's right. And it's awesome. Each
Can't make that many enemies in one episode.
Of Secret 12 is 2,500 micrograms, which is
2.5 milligrams.
I was just going to say,
yeah,
decimal places,
everything.
people.
But here's the thing: everything on these things, it's all listed in micrograms. So
Because you get 1,000 per.
Yeah.
that's right.
And 1,000 is better than 100.
Oh, that's not all. Here's the thing. On the labeling, and they even I think they are legally required to show you the label with the FDA, black and white label that breaks down everything.
I call it government intervention.
Oh, they do, because
Putting a stranglehold on small business.
To get the actual information that's on the label, you have to click on a separate picture, and then they show it to you so small you have to click again to blow it up. Like they really put as many casual hurdles as they can in front of that. But here's the most amazing thing. So for each of these things, I went to the National Institute of Health website, and it gives everything you need to know about a chemical compound and its interaction with people.
Right.
And so on the label, it reports that each serving of Secret 12 is 41,665% of your daily needed vitamin B12. The best part about this is they underreported that number by over half.
Wow.
The actual, if you actually go to the National Institute for Health, find out how much B12 does a functioning human need per day, which is 2.4 micrograms. Turns out it's 104,166.6% of how much you need.
Jesus.
In other terms, that would be, if you were to take a kilogram of something and put that much in it, that'd be 2.5 ppb. We can barely detect that with most modern forms of spectroscopy. That's ridiculous. Greg, you're the fact checker right now.
Oh, God.
I want you to look up how many milligrams of Tylenol is in extra strength Tylenol and compare that to what is in this Secret 12 right now. You said what?
Oh, yeah.
2,500.
It's 2,500 micrograms.
Okay. We'll get to that. So pretty much they're selling you just enough to know that you may actually have something in you at some point.
Oh, man.
And also get Red Bull. Look up Red Bull and how much B12 that has in it, or any other energy drink.
It gives you wings.
They're selling you so much that your body is just going to piss a river of B12. Your urine will be 78% B12.
500 milligrams.
That's okay. Well, that's what I was going to say.
Acetaminophen.
Your pee's probably going to be green from so much B12 from it.
Mm-hmm.
What was the other thing you want me to look up?
So
Red Bull. What about it?
Not even Red Bull. Look up Monster. how much
That's not
B12
what
is
you
in
said
Monster?
before. That is not what you said
Well,
before.
Red Bull's just straight caffeine. That's the good shit. It's
Yeah, Monster takes a more holistic approach to jacking you out of your fucking skull so that you can wear all of your tap out T-shirts and go to your Fox motorcycle rallies with a complete health picture in mind.
Monster, the conspiracy energy drink with the 666 in
Oh, I know that
Hebrew.
one, yeah.
Yeah, the Hebrew beast drink.
And once you turn it over, bottoms up, Satan wins.
That's
I saw that
right.
video.
Every time.
I have not heard of any of this, so I'll have to look into it.
So there's 6 micrograms of B12 in a standard can of Monster Energy drink, as compared to 2,500 in Super B12. There is a limit. There is a threshold to how much your body can take before it just pisses it all out.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And that threshold is maybe twice the daily recommended, thrice perhaps.
Well, in a supplement that you can just get at the pharmacy over the counter, if you just got a bottle of vitamin of B12, it's each pill is 1,000 micrograms, or 16,667% daily value.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Even
what is going on?
I looked online. I went on Amazon. Now Alex Jones is charging $29.95 for 30 servings, 30 doses of Secret 12. And I say doses because sometimes it's pills, sometimes it's dropper oil, whatever he's doing with it. I looked online, and just for the shit of it, I just looked at Amazon. I was like, Amazon B12, and you can. Nature Made, this is my plug for Nature Made. I don't know. Nature Made vitamin B12, 500 microgram pills, which is
That's kind of like what I was the 16,000.
right. So yeah, that's. Oh, I actually did my own math wrong there. Hold on.
Well, just for the sake of reference, a microgram is 1/1,000,000th of a gram.
Yeah.
Just for people at home who don't know what that means.
That's a lot of zeros.
Yes, that is a lot of zeros.
All right. So while you get your
Oh,
TI-86 out and...
Are they up to TI-86?
I actually, hold on. I actually
Only
do have to
that.
get my computer's TI-86 out real quick because I fucked that math up so badly.
try the 84. That one works better.
That 84 silver plus.
Okay. The 500 micrograms, which is only 20,833 times percent. I'm sorry, 20,833% of what you need daily. You can get that for $11.88 for 200 servings. So a third of the price, almost 10 times more than what Alex Jones is hawking on the B12 front. Having said that, B12 is a good vitamin. It does help you. It's supposed to be good for helping with hangovers. There is some research that it points to a lowering of cardiovascular disease risk, as well as increased cognitive function or decreased risk of dementia in the elderly. So it's not like B12 is bad for you. It's not poison, but he's selling a hugely overmarked amount of it. Like your body can't possibly process 10% of what he's selling you.
That's ridiculous because I was going to say, in his defense, he's selling you a deal. You can split up one of those pills into 1,000 little portions and then just take that daily. But
Just take
if you
one
can get
pill
it
and just lick it.
just smell it.
Like a gobstopper, like a
just
gobstopper.
huff it a little bit.
Big
If you look at it real hard, you'll get everything you need.
And just do that for a couple thousand days. But if you can get it cheaper on Amazon, what are we even doing for it? He is gouging the price, and he's overselling you at that point. He is.
Oh, okay, Obama's America. Okay, so you want to go for big box Amazon instead of supporting a small time broadcaster, somebody trying to make a living.
That cares about the
That's a
children.
huge part of
Anyone
his sales
that
pitch,
delivers
though.
shit to my door via
part
drone
of his sales pitch
wins.
on the off. I'm sorry. What was that?
I was just saying, anyone that delivers shit via drone to my doorstep wins.
One part
Oh yeah,
of his
you'd
sales
love the
pitch.
drones, wouldn't you, Obama?
One part of
I
his
am
important sales pitch to keep people kind of off his ass about it, because it took me 3 seconds to figure out how bad a deal this is. Every dollar you spend helps us fight the war against the globalists. It is another bullet. It is another piece of ammunition in our war of information, because there is
50%.
a war on people. Like, it is, if his ultimate fallback, his final position is, oh, well, yeah, but this is what it costs to keep tyranny at bay. I have to sell you shit.
Yep. Freedom and free.
So
Folks like you and me.
If we don't all chip in, that buck
Well-
5, who will?
Jesus. Okay, so that's Alex Jones' approach to everything, and I guess now we're ready to move over to Dr. Oz.
Well, we should note that is
Yeah.
one Alex Jones approach.
Yeah,
to
that's
everything.
one. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's one of his. That's clearly a fear tactic at that point. Dr. Oz is I don't want to say clever. It just, he covers his ass a little bit more. But once again, we said he does not sell anything. He just happens to have these people on the show and give them an entire segment and does not ask them any questions against what they are selling.
Well, I think a good thing to distinguish is what Dr. Oz, is, what he went to medical school for and is certified for versus what he actually does.
That is one thing. Like I said, he's an
Which
actual
is-
heart
which
surgeon.
should
I'm
be
trying
alarming
to.
for anyone in any position. What did you go to school for versus what are you doing right now?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And I'm trying to hold my punches right now because I have I'm not as red as I thought I would be with this. Like, I'm trying not to do personal attacks, even though he does look like Willem Dafoe if one of Willem Dafoe's parents wasn't a jack-o'-lantern. It's just, I don't know. I'm going to take the first topic, and it's a double whammy because it's one of the things that I've wanted to cover for a while, and I get to just prove one of Dr. Oz's things, and that's homeopathy. So Dr. Oz, in several segments, has been shown to, okay, if I say advocate, I might get sued. He has been shown to host people that support homeopathy on his show. And also, he says that he lets his wife give his kids homeopathic medicine. So homeopathy is different from holistics. Okay, David, you have your arm up. You go ahead.
I do, although you might have just been going to it. I was going to ask, hey, for those of us who don't know, what can you explain homeopathy?
Yes.
I think you were just getting into that.
Yes, so we have it in the notes. So there is a difference between homeopathy and holistics. Holistics is seen as being the natural or herbal or kind of untainted remedies to any sort of medicine. So say that garlic cures the sneezes. You give people garlic powder. That would be considered a naturalistic or holistic medicine.
Or like if you have sunburn, putting aloe vera on it.
That's a very good point. That one is a very good example. So it's not exactly giving the proportions of that active compound that would heal things to you, but everybody's doing guns around me right now.
Louisiana.
Finger guns.
It wouldn't give you exactly the proportional amount that you would like in a general cure to that ailment, but it still gives you the, I guess, source of that cure. That is holistics. So there is not exactly a lot of science against it. It's just it might be in more dilute forms than one would generally have in modern day science. Homeopathy is a whole different monster, and I happen to have the history all in my notes right now. So
How convenient.
it's great. So, homeopathy stems from the Greek word homeos, which means similar, and pathos, which means suffering. The first definite roots were from the 16th century pharmacologist Paracelsus. Have you guys covered him yet? I know you've covered...
You've
plenty
mentioned
of
him before.
Paracelsus? Ringing any bells? We
We
recently covered...
We're so drunk when we record. It's so hard to
We
know.
recently
How many
covered,
should we be bothered?
We covered Pliny in one of our episodes, and we didn't want to be stomping on any
Pliny.
ground right there, but we covered a lot of his natural history. He's got some good quotes in there.
You guys, every time Pliny the Elder comes up, you guys are like, this motherfucker again.
Okay, so...
Yeah.
That's true.
So
you, David.
Paracelsus posited that what makes a man ill also cures him. Homeopathy, the term, was coined by Samuel Hahnemann in 1807. And strange luck, the idea formed after trying to cure malaria. Hahnemann ingested cinchona root bark over 2 weeks. I think that's the right way to say it. Cinchona. Cinchona? I don't know if it's the Catalan way to say it. Yeah.
Dave, I don't know if they had that in Antarctica, but is that the correct way to say it?
In Antarctica, that's exactly how we said that because we all used a quinchona
So
to keep
he took
our
the
minds clear.
He took the cinchona root bark over 2 weeks, then began to develop symptoms similar to malaria. Therefore, he deduced that small doses of things that cause similar ailments will cure the disease. Where you got that logic from, I don't know. It was a 16th century thing.
No. If you get shot with a gun, the best cure is a 35 millimeter grenade.
Yeah, pretty much.
That will end the suffering.
Yeah.
Maybe we should stop this segment right now. That's a good point. So anyway,
Nailed it.
the bark may
Or
have
just
not
a gun with a bigger caliber. Sorry.
the bark may have not even been a factor in his fevers and other symptoms because he was taking this over 2 weeks, and then it happens that 2 weeks later he started developing symptoms. Interestingly enough, cinchona bark contains quinine, which actually kills parasites that cause malaria. So
Heyo.
we'll give you some dumb luck right there. So after this, the law of similars was formed, which is also Herring's law, which say the exact same thing. Like cures like. So homeopathy formed off of the fact that things that cause ailments to you in certain dilutions will cure what causes that ailment to you. So say that like you get the sniffles from a cold, and say that onions make you get the sniffles. If you do little dilute forms of onion powder, then you will be able to cure your cold.
Okay, so just for my own dumb sake of mind, so that's basically saying if I get bit by a snake and then I take snake's blood and like kind of dilute it a little bit and drink it, that's gonna cure me.
This is getting into dangerous grounds actually, because some of the cures to snake bites are actual snake venom. That is some dangerous grounds right there. But it generally is saying the same thing.
Well, I'm talking like in the most basic form.
Yes. Okay. But there is a whole list of antigens that factor into that to the point where we can actually use modern science to figure out why snake venom would help cure a snake bite.
Okay.
This is going a completely different approach. They're going by if you get a lot of a snake bite in you, if you put little bits of snake bite in you to the point of it's not even existing anymore in that little cure that you take, then it'll work. I got ahead of myself. But, okay,
What?
Dave, let's go. David, sorry. God damn it. Flora, Stecco. Flora.
Done.
Wonder where the hair of the dog comes into play with this. Like, wonder where the folk remedy, which I would argue would be more holistic, kind of bleeds into the homeopathic. Is that something that you're going to get to? Because I don't want to step on you again.
No. Greg, look up the hair of the dog
right now.
that bites you. Okay. He's already got that. That actually factors into
Is
it.
a colloquial expression in the English language predominantly used to refer to alcohol that is consumed with the aim of lessening the effects of a hangover. The etymology is the expression originally referred to a method of treatment of a rabid dog bite by placing hair from the dog in the bite wound.
Hey, who coined that?
That sounds homeopathic.
That is straight
more
from
than holistic.
Wikipedia. I have not done an extensive search, but that is the initial hit.
So just real quick, it kind of sounds like Mithridates. Does anybody know who Mithridates is?
I don't listen to Dan Carlin as much as you.
Penalty shot. So he was a Persian ruler. That basically he was known as the poison god, and he would basically take a bunch of poisons to build up an immunity to them
And then how did he die?
by poison.
Okay. Just making sure on that one.
But that's what you're referencing, right?
Yeah, well, kind of.
Okay. That's immediately what my mind jumped
Yeah,
to.
the idea is that specifically if there is something that, not even exactly that poison, if you were to have an ailment from something which causes these symptoms, if you take something else that causes those same symptoms, doesn't have to be the same thing, but you dilute it, that can heal you.
Right. That is
the
basically what I was
idea
saying.
behind homeopathy.
Okay.
I'm going to
That
stop you off
is-
for 1 second. This actually kind of blew my mind. The earliest known reference to the phrase hair of the dog is dated from mid to late 2nd millennium BC.
Wow.
Who carved that?
That's like a 4,000-year-old reference.
Pisces, who did you say?
It's from ancient Ugarit. I have no
That's the prequel to Ancient Aliens, Ancient Ugarits.
Yeah.
So
ancient port city. Anyway, please continue.
So going off of this idea that small amounts of something can help cure what would be caused by a large amount of it, most modern homeopathic preparations take the cure, grind it, and keep diluting it and shaking it with alcohol or water by a factor of C, which is a factor of 100. This is where things get a little bit batshit. This is an exponential dilution rate.
Seize the speed of light.
Yeah, in terms of like, okay, you have linear, which is just like little by little by little. Exponential is times, and you get that giant curve on a graph.
Well, just for like the sake of like with math.
Oh, I got numbers.
Well, what I was gonna say is when you add c to something, it's literally any real number that's out there.
No, this is an arbitrary like dilution rate that they added. C is only used in homeopathic medicine. I have not seen it used anywhere else.
It's used in math.
I have what?
It's used in math.
Well, you know what? Math sucks.
As our resident scientist.
True story.
I hope y'all don't believe in math.
Says the guy who's taking a couple math classes. So, just to give you an idea of this whole dilution rate. So, if you were to throw 5 extra strength Tylenol into an Olympic-sized swimming pool, by modern standards of mass spectroscopy, which is what we use to identify many compounds and many chemicals present, contaminants, pesticides, any poisons in the food industry. I do this a lot at work. This is what you would use, mass spectroscopy. We could pick up 5 extra Tylenol in an Olympic-sized pool with the mid-level equipment that we're using for that.
Okay, now here's the question.
Okay.
Could you tell me why it turns green in Brazil?
We're going to get to that in another episode, so shut up.
Stop it!
At 12C, which is 12 dilutions by a factor of 100, there is a 60%
Jesus.
possibility that one molecule of the original material, so say you were to take that onion powder, put it in water, and keep diluting it, at 12C, there is potentially one molecule of that cure,
Whatever it is.
still in the solution if 1 mole of the original solution was used, of the original substance. And for anybody that is curious, Avogadro's number is 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd. 23rd! Oh!
23rd or negative 23rd.
It's 23rd.
It depends on where you're going, from the top or the bottom.
No, it's 10 to the 23rd.
I like to be top, so.
Don't argue this.
Okay.
So, that's 12C.
It's a number so important we still use the word Avogadro,
Well,
which no one wants to say.
Well, 10 to the 22 translates into zeros. Put 22 zeros after anything. You will stop before you will lose interest before you finish putting those 22 zeros. So, with that being said, Hahnemann suggested that a 30C dose is adequate for most homeopathic doses. This is a guy, the founder of homeopathy. He said that 30C would be good. That is, let's see, and also, most modern homeopathic flu medication is 200C. That is 10 to
Jesus
Christ.
10
man.
to the 400 dilution. Put 400 zeros behind anything and see.
Wait, 400 or negative 400?
No, it's 400.
Oh, 400.
I know I put that afterwards.
Well, no. I'm saying.
Wait.
That's how many zeros is in front of that number. So if you were to have
22 or 23 zeros?
for Avogadro's, it's 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd.
23rd.
Kidding.
You're kidding me? Don't kid me on this stuff, okay? I have to deal with this number all the time.
Hey, Flora, I know
He knows things.
He's trying to make that his tagline. So anyway,
So how many Tylenols in the pool is that?
let's see. That Tylenol. Okay,
Hey,
Just trying to boil it down,
Hey,
boy.
I can give you numbers on that. 5 extra strength Tylenol in that Olympic-sized swimming pool is 3C. That's 3C. And we're talking 200C for a flu medication.
So that's
they
at
don't even
least-
talk about what they
yeah.
use in this type of solution. They don't even say if it's the actual dog's hair or onion powder or anything like that, or even if they took extra strength Tylenol and put it in there and diluted it by 400C.
hey, Ryan, you hear
So it's 1/200th of 1/3 of a Tylenol tablet in the pool.
That's a rough estimation, yes.
Yes.
No, that's not even in the pool. That is in the actual solution. We're talking about 400 zeros. Can you write that out right now?
Hey, Ryan, you hear that? I believe that says "fuck you" to Ryan from David Flora.
Be careful. Last time you said that to him, you were dead wrong.
Yeah, Flora, quit talking
Irrelevant.
shit.
Irrelevant.
talking shit,
Erroneous on
Flora.
all accounts.
You little fucker.
What?
You little asshole.
What just happened? I can't see numbers. I can see Tylenol in pools though.
Do you know one of my favorite things is how often Flora gets blamed for the shit I do? That is one of my favorite things.
Well, as a Mengele fan, he deserves it.
Well,
But
so Dave, that happens all the time when people are like, "Oh, your science is wrong," and I'm like, "Hey, blame Ryan. I don't know anything. Like, I'm dumb, so Blame Ryan. It's totally fine.
Yeah, play that number.
I totally do.
So anyway, modern theories, in order to compensate for people actually being able to make calculations, have suggested that water remembers the molecules. So there's this whole idea that water remembers what has been in it previously, so it takes that imprint and decides to just make up for... I can't even give you a good explanation of this. It's like as if you were to just like put your hand in cement, and then people would look at that over there, at that hand, and say, that's Ryan's handprint, without my name being there or anything like that.
So they would automatically know
The
that's
water
Ryan
remembers what was in it previously, which there's the idea of Coca-Cola, where every bit of water has been Coca-Cola at some point. So technically, we should all be drinking Coca-Cola.
Is that a real thing?
Every bit of water's been pissed at some point.
And
The human body, amazing.
and
Amazing.
you know, it's been really hard for me to find some data to prove this one way or another, because we've had some less reputable sources do studies on homeopathic medicine, but then we've
Listen, buddy, you're the one who asked us to be on the podcast.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
No, we didn't ask you. You just kind of just Skyped in and just started doing it.
We were set to record this
We
episode.
were really scared.
You guys point a gun at
We
the
are the
camera.
less reputable sources.
So the Swiss government ordered a study on the effects of homeopathy as part of the Swiss Complementary Medicine Evaluation Program. And this is not me stereotyping. This is an actual report from the Swiss government. It says, quote, the Swiss government...
Bork. Oh, that's Sweden.
I translate this from all the Flurgadurgans. The Swiss government...
I guess-
Fondue, chocolate
That's it.
cheese,
God.
chocolate Jew gold.
Toblerone. All right.
Look it up.
Yeah. That's a historically accurate joke. Oh, I'm sorry. Did it just get too real for you?
That's
okay, if I end up with a watch list looking this up.
So,
We're already on a watch list, Obama.
So the Swiss government has, this is a quote, so the Swiss government has a long and widely respected history of neutrality, and therefore
Could have fooled me.
reports from this government on controversial subjects need to be taken more seriously than other reports from countries that are more strongly influenced by present economic and political constituencies. They have not recognized any effects from homeopathic medicine on general health. So the Swiss government said this. These are the people that, from Futurama, tell my wife I said hello. That type of deal. It's the people that are known for neutrality have said that this doesn't do jack shit. And it's a big wonder considering you are giving people water. And Dr. Oz even had it on his show. We'll put the video in the show notes of him twisting this little Pez dispenser for wackos, where you just have the little tiny ball.
Pestle?
No, it's just a little tiny ball that comes out, and it has the homeopathic medicine, which has a certain dye in it, which is probably more effective than the medicine that they say does the trick. And you give it to your kids, or no, his wife gives it to his kids, so he doesn't have any responsibility.
So you mean to tell me?
His hands are clean.
So you mean to tell
That's
me
exactly it?
that people that have studied medicine for all of their lives know less than Dr. Oz, who is not even a family health doctor, right? I'm just want to make sure I'm reading
Officially,
that
he's a
correctly.
cardiac surgeon.
Right, but he's not a family health doctor.
No.
Okay.
Well, listen, I've in the last year I've had to endure some brain surgeons who are pretty fucking stupid too. So
Were they trying to buy things at certain prices against
yes,
others?
the United States of America.
So I guess the wrap up for that is, in a very shortened way, is homeopathy believes that like cures like, but in small dilutions. What would cause you an ailment in large amounts would cause you the cure in small amounts. And this is complete and utter bullshit. I will stand by that, along with every other study that has proven that, and by common sense. I'm not trying to pulpit here. It's just it's one of those things that has been generally accepted by the scientific community, and it is very hard to find a reputable association that does not have some money backed by it to prove that otherwise it's not a reputable thing. And, once again, people will say, Dr. Oz even said, oh, well, at the worst, it's not going to hurt you, but we'll get into that afterwards of why that is actually a problem.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll get to that.
Flora, hand up.
Do you think that part of the reason that homeopathy has gained popularity, and especially in quote-unquote scientific following,
Yes, it's Donald Trump.
is from
China.
How we discovered cures, or at least vaccines to certain things, like in smallpox, how they would take a little bit of the pus and put it in and develop that. You know what I mean? Like,
No, I will answer that for you, Flora. I think it is the inverse. I think that people are shocked to shit when a small amount of milkmaids develop antibodies to smallpox. They're like, holy shit, that worked. In the history of humankind, there has always been a market for selling things that don't do shit for a lot of money.
Well, not even that. I mean, when you have chickenpox, what is the number one way to fight chickenpox?
Chicken soup.
Getting chickenpox when you're younger.
Nintendo?
When you're younger. So by getting the virus when you're 6, 7, 8 years old, whatever it is,
They have an elementary school lock-in with every kid that doesn't have chickenpox and just have them hug.
Exactly. You want to contract the disease when you're younger,
And
so
if
that
that
way,
doesn't work,
when you're
we
older, you
escalate
don't
it.
get shingles. So I mean, it's the same thing. When you want to get a form of the virus when you're early to build up a tolerance of it, so that way when you get older, you won't be susceptible to it.
But just saying, having another 4-year-old cough into your mouth does not exactly constitute small doses.
We said we weren't going on to personal stories, Ryan. You said you wouldn't judge me.
Okay, well, whatever. Anyway, so the idea, that is a very good point, Flora, that maybe like the hair of the dog that bit you has some legitimacy to it, but they're going to a point where you literally cannot find a single molecule of what's supposed to cure you in that solution in order to cure you. You're literally just taking water. And there's a DVD that I have somewhere in this house that is called Water, The Great Mystery or something like that. It is one of those new agey, science-y types of DVDs that is trying to explain, like they had a case study where they had like a jar of rice and then another jar of rice, and one of them they said bad words to, and another one they said good words to, and the one that said bad words to rotted faster, and they didn't have a control group where they didn't say any words to either of the rices. That's what they do for this type of thing, and it's just bad science. There are a lot of problems with these studies, and I'm getting ahead of it because this is kind of tangent on Josh's next subject.
Yep.
But the takeaway from this is that homeopathy dilutes things to the point where if you were to put anything that might cure you in there, it would be long gone by the time it gets from dilution to consumer. And you would just be taking water or alcohol, and that's it. And there is no reason to believe this. And he has pushed this, and he has gone in this roundabout way saying that his wife has given his kids this, which is even worse because it's just like, well, my wife's doing it. I can't do shit about that.
Well, that's a real...
Now, hold on there, Ryan, though. I've been taking water and alcohol for years.
Well, that's a reoccurring thing with Dr. Oz, which I'll get to eventually. But one of the things that he keeps saying is that, oh, well, I would never give anything to my audience that I wouldn't give to my wife, who then in turn gives it to my kids. But it's like, just because you feed this bullshit to your wife, who then in turn feeds it to your kids, doesn't make it okay.
It's really the question of, this doesn't hurt you, so what's the harm of doing it? But there is implications to that.
Well, that's like me saying, like, oh man, I have sunburn, and then you sitting there saying, well, let me give you a Tylenol. It may not necessarily help the sunburn, but it may help a little bit. You don't really know.
All right, I'm gonna have you pick that up and put it on the shelf over there.
Okay.
Well, you're also doing harm by charging people for a thing that doesn't help
Yes.
them at all, which is a good time to mention. Blurry Photos is on patreon.com/blurryphotos.
It didn't hurt anyone. It just is.
All right.
Okay, so now that Ryan's done with his bullshit topic, Flora, you gonna jump into some Alex Jones nonsense now that you're talking about it?
Yeah, I think I'll get some more back into this. Well, we're gonna do a leg sweep and take out a few topics.
Yeah,
Sweep the leg,
few
Johnny.
of the products in the old Infowars store.
yeah. It turns out, Flora, that Alex Jones has built his house on 3 rickety stilts.
He was planning on this advertisement from our podcast. We're technically complicit in him selling this shit.
Yeah.
That's the sad thing. We're doing more good for him probably
Than he is. Than he is
We
himself.
just keep talking about it. Keep talking.
Yeah, I
about
think
it.
Flora hit him because it turns out that 3 of Alex Jones' products are all hinged upon the exact same compound
that's
with
amazing.
very heavily audible air quotes.
Okay,
That's
I'm
right.
ready for it.
So, we're gonna talk now about Survival Shield X2,
X2!
Lung Cleanse,
Okay.
and Fluoride Shield.
Flora kind of thinks fluoride is a mind control drug. Just for the record, Flora kind of thinks that fluoride is a mind control drug. Just a little bit. Un poquito.
All right. Flora doesn't think it's a mind control.
It knows it.
Oh.
Like our precious
Flora
Just
has a
to-
problem that Flora doesn't have a choice whether it's in his water.
Okay. Flora. First of all,
Flora also
Flora's-
has a problem with it that it's topical
All right.
and you don't have to ingest it.
Continue,
So-
David Fluoride.
All right.
You mother.
This train metaphor continues with how off the rails we are right now.
See how we continue. Let us start with Survival Shield X2.
Well,
Yeah.
That's 2 X's because 2 are better than 1. If you have 1 X, what are you, Obama?
Right. 2 for you because 1 won't do.
so David, what exactly is the X2?
Okay, the X2 is from the website itself himself, derived from 200 million year old salt solutions found more than 7,000 feet below the Earth's surface.
That's so many numbers. It's got to be good.
The next level of Survival Shield, remember X2, the next level is now here and much stronger than the original formula, with a powerful 650 micrograms per single drop.
Whoa!
That's right. You get it in a dropper. It is a liquid solution, and they even pre-screen it for radiation during the quality control phase. You're not getting any radiation in this. Nice try, government. So what it is basically is nascent iodine. According to them, the top 5 reasons you need nascent iodine. Iodine is an essential mineral that helps support thyroid health and well-being. True.
The thyroid is like the ultimate, like, this is what
get me
ails you or what
do
cures
not
you type of deal.
Yeah.
Started.
Oh, yeah.
Don't-
It's always the fucking thyroid.
Yeah, don't get me
The
started. with
thyroid is like the mitochondria of the body. It's the powerhouse.
It's the
That's right.
Blame everything wrong with you on your thyroid.
Nascent iodine may support healthy iodine levels. Okay. Nascent iodine may support healthy hormone levels. Who can test that?
Right. It
Nascent
may.
iodine may be involved in maintaining healthy metabolism. Oh.
Maybe.
Supplementing with pure nascent iodine may provide sufficient iodine so that the body does not need to absorb iodine from other, come on, pleb sources. Am I right?
Right.
Am I right? Yeah.
A bunch of, you mean a bunch of cuck iodine?
I don't need to walk my ass to a museum to rub myself on some old photos. To get
Iodine
some
that can't even please its wife?
You mean some blurry photos? Relevant plug. All right, keep going.
So it's X2 is just it's super high quality nascent iodine.
This is the one.
That's
This is
all-
the one where
that's all it
Stryker
is.
comes in and tries to like reinvigorate Wolverine with this iodine adamantium. At this point,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Continue, Flora.
Oh no, you're absolutely right. Like that was the next step I was getting to anyway. New weapon X2. So then we've got the old lung cleanse. Don't know if you don't know if you guys have shitty lungs. I mean,
Well,
we
my
all live in
lungs feel like
cities.
they could use a cleansing.
Well,
And-
every weekend I
and-
decide to just huff a campfire, and
Yeah.
Well,
so
what is
I
it?
know a little bit about it.
What is it? I got the black lung pop.
Well, you need something to clean out the chemicals from the
The
chemtrails.
chemicals, of
Of
course.
course.
Yes, of course. We got it. Yes.
Nobody wants aluminum in their lungs, of course. Well, let me get you the lung cleanse, a short how do you do for what that is?
And Alex Jones makes this super easy because he lists, here's top 5 reasons to use this product for a lot of his products. Like he'll break them out bullet point style, you morons.
He went into clickbait territory?
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
yeah.
okay.
5 shocking things about lung cleansing you won't believe. And it's a picture of a woman almost taking a dress off.
Dave, do you write for BuzzFeed?
I should.
There's a chemtrails911.com, and I really want to link to it, but I just can't in good conscience give him the click.
I went to a hookah bar.
I know when you're
I took
Flora.
this
I know it. I
X2
can
supplement,
feel it.
and I was cured of all that hookah that I took.
I took 3 whole
Flora,
hookahs.
what do you need?
Oh, I was gonna ask you to look it up, but it finally loaded. Did you guys know
No.
indoor air has been shown to have pollutant concentrations much higher than outdoor air? That is the proper response. Most people spend over 90% of their time indoors, trapped in pollutants.
Will someone please think of the children?
It sounds like a Dutch oven if I've ever heard one.
The polluted children.
So we're not talking about Beijing right now, right?
Oh.
Nope. This is inside your home, Ryan. I'm sorry. You better tell Carlene. Get out. There's over 1,000 types of mold and mildew that's been identified by scientists within homes located in the United States.
Okay.
In these United States,
In
what used to
these-
be America?
What used to be the people's America, something by the people, for the people, land of the free, home of the brave.
Before Big Mildew owned it all.
Well, I'll tell you what. Now it's time to cleanse. And you can get that with Infowars' very own lung cleanse, also in dropper form, very convenient.
Thank you.
It's the result of ancient wisdom combined with herbal science, reinterpreted in the light of modern-day herbology.
So it's water.
Modern day herbology.
I'm confused. Do we huff this? Do we sniff this? Or do we plug this?
Oh no, my friend. You mix this with a little water.
And then inhale it.
Oh man.
Uh,
So this lung cleanse. Do we?
Well, I'll tell you, if you're concerned, Ryan, I know where you're going. I know what you're going to ask. And yes, it's vegan safe and GMO free.
I appreciate you stipulating that. It's high.
It's also halal and kosher.
It's high quality H2O.
So
Does it actually say halal on there? Because I can't
Yes, it
believe.
sure does.
I can't believe they'd stoop to the Muslim agenda.
I mean, hello, people.
Oh Jesus!
So
I got to tell you. Oh, sorry, Ryan. I keep interrupting. What were you gonna
no,
ask?
I was just gonna say. So should I take this outside since my inside is terrible and filled with all these contaminants that my lungs?
No way. You can take it in your own home.
Dude.
In the scariness of your own home.
That's right. You can offset the toxicity of your own beloved
I
surroundings.
can put it in my mister in my room, my humidifier, and then we're good.
Yeah.
I bet you're fine. I bet that'll
Okay.
help. I mean, you got to get this lung cleanse in your body. That's the important thing. And you know
what?
what?
He has a radio show. I
Uh,
believe him. It's okay. You don't even have to go any further than that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of making half that stuff up because it doesn't actually say how you take it, and it doesn't actually say what it does. But just keep in mind, there's mildew in the air in your home.
Uh-huh.
It's not safe. There's big numbers on people getting sick and having trouble with their lungs.
Okay.
So
Okay, I have my hand up. I took your question.
Yes.
go ahead.
No, we
Ryan.
already covered this, Ryan. It's halal. You're fine.
Hello, Ryan. Hello.
Yes, Mr. Flora.
Halal in the streets, Haman in the sheets. Am I right?
This guy knows what I'm talking
You're
about.
dirty.
This guy knows.
You're dirty. I love it.
Is there any sort of active compound cited by Alex Jones that helps with this lung cleanse?
Funny you should ask, Ryan. You can actually get some nascent iodine in this cleanse.
Okay, so
That'll
back
help.
to square one.
So, Flora, what you're basically saying is I could smoke 2 packs a day, but as long as I buy
Absolutely.
this bullshittery, it's totally fine.
Hey, don't say that. It means you should drop the nascent iodine onto your cigarettes and then smoke them.
Uh-huh. Okay.
That's the way it
Yep.
works.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks for clarifying, Ryan.
All right. Any others with nascent iodine that are connected to it aside from the lung cleanse?
Well, we got one more. Dave,
Yeah, what's that one? That would be the Flora Shield. I'm sorry, my mistake. Fluoride Shield. Shacha! Shacha!
Hey, do you want some ketchup for those harsh burns, Flora?
ketchup for my burns?
Yeah, I like that.
I'll take some aloe because it's real. It's a real cure. People's cure.
That's right. Fluoride cleanse. I'm sorry. Fluoride shield is the only
shield.
thing that can shield you from the fluoride that the government's putting in your water supply. Which, Flora's right. No one asked. They just put it in there.
But nobody
Hold on, I gotta
protested
pull it.
until it was in there.
Right. Until it was too late.
Okay, so the third one.
I mean, come on. You don't have to ingest it. It's topical. All right. Anyway, all right. So nascent iodine is in all this shit,
Yeah.
right? It's bullshit. I mean, do we not know that? So apparently nascent iodine doesn't exist in solution form.
Define nascent
Yeah,
in the
it's-
first place. Flora, I'm not holding
so-
you to this burden of proof. I'm just saying, has there been any indication that nascent is a defining term for iodine?
The term was coined by a guy from our end of the dirty pool,
Roger
Edgar Casey. Yeah, Roger Mason. Edgar Casey was a guy who swore on this. What it is it is electrically separated iodine anions.
So what you're saying is, if I want to learn more about Edgar Casey, there's an episode of Blurry Photos where I can check that out.
Oh, there sure as shit is, brother.
That's right.
Oh,
Birth of
God,
Blurry
there
Photos.
is.
So this is the So electrically separated anions. So all those cations are taken and just thrown in the fucking garbage can, right?
Yeah, well, what happens is you can create what they call nascent iodine. You can isolate iodine anions. The problem is that they will instantly join with any positively charged thing that they can get their dirty, greedy little hands on, which is why you find things like iodized salt, why you find potassium iodide.
They
for
speed date
example.
like a motherfucker with other things.
What I was gonna
Anything
say
positively
is,
charged.
what I was gonna say is, for those of you stupid people like me and Uncle Rusty,
Shut up.
anions, that's negatively charged ions, correct? And cat
Mhm.
ions are positively charged,
So
correct?
for cations, you have the T in there, and that's a plus. That's the way I remembered it.
That's actually pretty good.
No,
That's
it's
pretty
good. Yeah, definitely.
That totally makes sense.
And anions are negatively charged, like your aunt who's sad and lives by herself.
Aunt Tabitha.
She's
Tabitha's married. Betty Ebersol is
Sick
the
reference,
sad
bro.
loner.
I'm coming for you,
So
Dana.
yeah. So what are they talking about with nascent iodine? Like,
Oh, so it while it theoretically exists, the minute you mix it with anything, you put it in a solution, you put it in a pill, you let it out of a very carefully controlled laboratory setting, it binds to something else. And so there is no nascent iodine. It just simply cannot be offered to you in a product.
So basic chemistry, okay? And if I know this, then I'm sure most people know this. Basic chemistry suggests that if you are at, -7 as far as, protons go, you want to combine with something to be completely even at -8. So you want to bind with absolutely anything that there is out there to be completely neutral.
No, so in basic chemistry, you have
Right?
This is where everyone looks at Ryan and goes,
Exactly.
I was like, none of us can confirm.
Ryan, you're the only one working in the field, so we all defer to you.
Dave, you're the bug man. We were going to talk about things like this, okay?
What's work?
So in basic
Audrey
basic chemistry,
I had to pass a lot of chemistry to become a bugman, but then I forgot it.
that's your cryptid. So in basic chemistry, you have the idea that everything wants to do as little work as possible.
Right, they want to be balanced,
Yeah.
correct?
So you
Right.
have the positive and negative
just like America.
Yes.
That's the dream.
Every molecule in the universe is a freeloader and wants to have to do as little things as possible.
That's what we call the Democrats.
And that's why God damn it, man. This is the...
This is why we can't have nice things.
I could have said it the other way. I could have said it the other way. I'm gonna round it out. I'm gonna keep it simple. There's the concept of equilibrium. Everything wants to be kind of matched up with each other so they don't have to do the work for the other one. So positive will try to join with negative at the most extreme possible. That's how explosions work. That's how simple acid-base reactions work. Positive tries to bond with negative. So
you're saying that 9/11 was an inside job?
Was it not?
I mean, it's as clear as can be, people.
I think what we've come up with, nascent iodine can melt.
That's exactly.
So it's so negative that it doesn't matter what people say about Suicide Squad. It just is going to give it a bad review. It doesn't think it's going to be good from the get-go. So anyway, regardless, you have something that's very positive and very negative, and this nascent iodine, if it is as negative as it says, then that means that it is going to easily bond with anything positively charged in the environment that it is subjected to, which, unless it is a very strict lab environment, is impossible. So this nascent iodine will be as neutral as possible and will not work the way it even says. Also, iodine does not have many other curative properties other than sterilization. So it's insane. The way they are saying this would sell for cleaning your lungs or doing... Flora, what's the other thing you said?
Oh, everything. It'll do whatever you want.
It'll protect you against the government's fluoride.
You know what? Dealer's choice, Ryan.
So,
yeah.
So
I mean, look, what we're saying is we've got three different products that are purporting to do three different things, P, and basic component of each one is the same thing.
Which is nascent iodine, which goes in and negatively nags other things out of the whole system so that you're healthy afterwards. Right?
So
right.
Negative.
Well, the other thing is now Alex Jones has to be very careful here because, especially in the case of potassium iodide, which can be extraordinarily toxic to people, but potassium iodide is used in cases of radiation poisoning. For a really good explanation of this, listen to our good friend Chris Dops and his episode of Eastern Border with Chernobyl.
Trifecta.
He talks about how this is used. How they had iodine tablets for people who were exposed to radiation. It is to be only used after radiation exposure.
It's
because
like
prior
right away.
it is very bad for you.
And I believe that it is exposure to beta or alpha particles, Dave. Help me out with this
I want to
one.
say beta.
Oh, shit.
Beta
Double
from
it
the
down.
gamma
episode, I
particles.
think
Gamma
beta.
particles.
Oh, gamma. Okay. Well, the only
I think we just triggered Flora.
the only thing here is that with these radiation particles, these people are so far gone that it really doesn't matter by that point anyway.
No, you are polishing the brass on the Titanic at that point. But the thing is that he implies that it is a good thing for a survivalist to have and to take to prepare one's body for the massive onslaught of radiation, which is extraordinarily dangerous because one dose of Survival Shield X2 is twice the safe limit of potassium iodide because he always lists it as iodine or as nascent iodine, and you don't know what it's bound to.
So what you're basically saying is that I need to pay all my money to Alex Jones in order to be immune to everything that's going to come towards my way.
As fast as possible,
Okay.
if you're a true patriot, if you're
only if
sick
you
and
care
tired
about your
of
family,
the complicity
right.
of the system and the globalists.
Right. So the last topic of the night that I'm going to lead into, it's actually a two-parter, so you get double your money's worth. The first thing I'm going to talk about is green coffee extract. Now, Dr. Oz, or as some of you know, Dr. Mehmet Oz.
Well, to clarify, this is mainly like dietary
Dr.
supplements.
Hussein Oz.
God, I knew it. I knew that was coming.
It's the dietary thing.
Yeah, I'm going to be focusing more on the dietary end of things, such as pretty much focusing on people that don't want to do any of the extra work, but want to take these supplements that magically make them lose weight all of a sudden with no problem.
Now you're insulting our audience, but continue.
You can eat a dick. So Dr. Oz claims that these green coffee beans allows people to lose at least 1 pound per week without changing their diet. It is this new superfood that changes their life by simply taking the pill every day, 30 minutes before their meals.
For the record, green coffee extract is simply taking green coffee and the original form of coffee, not roasting it.
Hey, take a step back. Fuck your own face.
Okay.
We're all excited right now.
I'm back over here. I'm back.
So the claim is that chlorogenic acid, which was the main compound in the green coffee beans, that was what attributed to the weight loss, along with polyphenols.
Polyphenols.
Okay, thank you. So, but my I don't know if you guys know, but my bullshit meter, it's completely going off the charts right now.
Well, sounds like you need an Alex Jones meter.
60%.
60%.
Here, people.
So the basic premise is that when you want to lose weight, okay, it doesn't matter anything that you take, calorie intake versus calorie outtake, which means the energy that you exert. If you exert more energy than you intake, you're going to lose weight. And it doesn't have to be that close. It's like you have to lose like 700 calories compared to 300 calories that you take in. If you lose a lot of calories throughout the day, meaning if you exercise versus not taking in a lot of high calorie foods when you eat, you are going to lose weight. That is the simple bottom line fact of the matter. Now, when Dr. Oz claims taking this magic pill about the green coffee beans, he brought on Lindsay Duncan, who was on his show. Now, here's the problem with bringing her on. Who is
Lindsay Duncan?
She was some spokesperson for these green coffee beans, and she was fined $9 million by the Federal Trade Commission. Okay,
Hey-o.
that means she has no credibility whatsoever. But Dr. Oz felt like, it's not a big deal. Nobody will notice. Okay. Well, now I'm going to get into the green coffee bean versus the regular coffee bean, which you drink every day when you get to work and you drink your regular dark coffee, whatever. So
it's Arabica beans, lightly roasted, but then de-roasted and cold brewed. So yeah, so that's how I prefer it.
I kind of prefer the Sumatra.
So
do you have any stevia?
So the basic difference between these green coffee beans and the coffee beans that you drink when you get to work because you want a cup of coffee is that these green coffee beans have been roasted, which basically means that they've been have some kind of heat,
They've been made fun of to the point where they can't even respond to anybody else in front of a massive crowd of celebrities.
Yes, they've been roasted for that exact reason. You're such a dick.
Sarah Silverman and Gilbert Gottfried had been right there with them. You ever seen these beans? Why are they so green?
So what?
The first time I saw a bean this green was a hooker on the west side.
Holy crap.
That's really solid, Flora.
I was going to say, I'm pretty impressed by that. So basically what this is saying that somebody who has been exposed to green coffee beans, the only difference between your normal coffee beans that you drink is that they've been roasted, which means that they've been, roasted under heat. But according to Dr. Oz, by roasting them under heat, that means that there's been different scientific chemicals that have been added to them.
Scientific chemicals.
As opposed to the unscientific chemicals.
Right.
That's his exact quote, by the way. He says scientific chemicals.
Well, when it's time for unscientific chemicals, we'll go back to Infowars.
All right. Promise.
Well, the best part about all of this is that after talking about these green coffee beans, Dr. Oz warns about watching out for internet deals and investigating key ingredients, which means that if you took, half the time a day to investigate the things that he talks about, you wouldn't buy any of the shit that he talks about.
Guys, don't look too deeply into this, but this is good shit. Just trust me. That's pretty much the deal with it.
All those internet deals, they're bullshit. But my internet deal, the real deal.
So chlorogenic acid is the main component in this particular extract. I mean, the FTC has had plenty of things to say about this. Josh?
Well, but before you get into that, the study that Dr. Oz referenced before getting into all of this, the one that he based his research on saying that why it was so great, it was later retracted because there was no actual proof that it said that, what it actually meant to say.
And the quote is, the FTC complaint alleges that the study was so hopelessly flawed that no reliable conclusions could be drawn from it. The flawed study, which purported to show that the product causes, quote, substantial weight and fat loss, was later touted on the Dr. Oz show. So after it was retracted, it was still touted on there. So he just kind of just ran with it. He was like, they said it at some point, we'll just do it. Fuck it.
Well, not only that, the AFS, which is the Applied Food Sciences, they were fined $3.5 million because they did not have scientific substantiation to back up anything that they claimed.
So for the low price of one Dr. Oz episode, you can pay for all of the bullshit you just said was legal.
Well, that's like me basically saying that, like, yeah, you should totally take these pills because Santa Claus says that, that's really good for you.
People give... No, that is a very odd analogy right there. I'll give it that.
There's no basis for it. There's no basis for it whatsoever.
I just the Santa Claus thing got me. I just
So,
thought it was hilarious.
There is a subject of accountability there. But, I mean, you two guys have covered things like, for instance, GMOs and also artificial sweeteners, where, by you guys, I mean Blurry Photos.
Yeah.
Thanks for the
That's us.
clarification.
That wasn't
You mean y'all?
it wasn't a racial epithet. What I'm going to say is that...
You blurry people.
Yeah. Jesus, man. So, you guys have covered things like artificial sweeteners and GMOs to the point where there has been a little bit of like shenanigans where the companies that have something to gain from it have funded some of the studies involved.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yes.
These
Oh,
are
yeah.
these are government agencies, though, so it's a little bit more reputable from that. The FTC is not something to fuck with.
Well, not only that, they went behind and looked into these studies that Dr. Oz claimed was so reputable and, was a great, foundation to build that, selling these pills off of. But the actual study, the FTC believed that these, their lead investigator, that the measurements of the subjects changed the length of the trial, misstated the subjects that were taking the placebo effect, and, when they looked into it, that, just half the shit that they talked about was bullshit.
Half the shit was bullshit. We'll take that one home.
Rough estimation,
Okay,
half.
so chlorogenic acid, once again, has not been shown to actually be effective. Once again, what's the harm of actually taking it? Now we're going to get into the point where taking it might actually be a harm. And this is where Dr. Oz gets in some very, very muddy waters.
Yeah, he actually got sued, and in June of 2014, he appeared before the Science and Transportation Committee, which, by the way, science and transportation, combining those two together, that's kind of an odd thing to...
To be clear, there's a senatorial hearing.
Yeah, no. I should state that it was actually appeared before Congress, and Dr. Oz states, when he was in front of the committee, he said that he believed in everything that he talked about, and he said that he believes in all the products that he endorses, and he believes in everything that he claims, so much so that he gives them to his family. But there's a specific quote that I absolutely loved that I included in here. It was a senator, and she basically said that the scientific community is almost monolithic against you in terms of efficiency of everything that you talked about, that you claim to be, that they're miracles. So basically, she just gave him the proverbial middle finger, saying that you have no idea what you're talking about. The scientific community doesn't endorse what you say, and you can basically go fuck off.
She gave him Stanley Kubrick terms of things,
And
saying monolithic.
you can go fuck yourselves.
But the thing about it is that really they had a hearing and nothing came of it. It was just like, so you've been doing some sham science. What do you have to say for yourself? I was like, I never sold any of that stuff, and they said okay, and then that was it.
Well,
That was the point of the hearing.
the big thing about Dr. Oz is that he claims that, like, yeah, I understand that everything that I talk about has no actual scientific basis, but that doesn't mean that I believe in it. And that doesn't mean that I believe it can help people. I understand that it's not a long-term solution, but I believe that it can help people within the short term. But it doesn't completely negate the fact that he's making money off of all of this. It doesn't talk about the fact that he's selling all of these products and he's getting filthy rich off of all of it, even though he doesn't necessarily believe that it is a long-term solution to make them healthier and better people.
Well, and there's also the situation where, I mean, you're really considering he may not be selling these things, but when he's advocating for it and he's not contesting any of the information presented, that must mean that there is either a benefit to him on that show or that he advocates it. I mean, there has to be some sort of like presentation of one side and then the other, and then you let it weigh out between the two. And he has done that in a few other situations, and I will give it to him for that. But for these, it seems a lot fishier by the fact that he has these people on and he doesn't have somebody that says, oh, homeopathy is bullshit. Nobody has gone on to his show and said that.
But it's not even with homeopathy.
But
It's just
with green tea, green coffee and extract.
But he,
Well,
but he
all those
never,
things, because the only thing that makes less money than the real pharmaceutical industry is the bullshit pharmaceutical industry.
The ones that aren't regulated and don't have to pay any fees to actually push their shit out.
But that's a nice segue into the next thing that he advocated, which is
Well, the real question, real quick, is
okay.
all these things that he's pushing, what's the danger of taking them in the first place if, at the worst case, they don't hurt you and they don't help you?
But here's the thing, though. If you're going to argue that, what's the difference between me taking sugar pills? It's not going to hurt me, but it's not necessarily going to help me either.
That was rhetorical. I don't have an answer for you.
But
I
that's
feel
my
like
point.
subject.
I feel like the biggest mistake he made with this is that if he's pushing, for example, green coffee extracts, unroasted
Right.
coffee, raw coffee, and he's not calling it Rothy.
Well,
He just blew.
ring,
I-
ring,
I do
ring,
wanna
ring,
add-
ring, ring, ring.
I do wanna add-
Banana phone.
okay.
I want to add one little
he
thing.
Just, he blew a great marketing opportunity, like an idiot would.
But I guess I'll keep this very brief, but I guess the short thing is that when you get into these little things like I'm gonna, I have the sniffles, I'm gonna take this, it's one thing. But then you get cases like Steve Jobs, right, where you have like, I have something really serious like cancer, or I have something really serious like
Boredom.
a thyroid disease, or just depression, right? And
Or boredom.
or boredom.
You should cap this up real quick.
I am. I was gonna say, but the issue being that you suddenly go into, well, what happens when you take it as an alternative to serious problems?
Well,
Yes.
That's our wrap up. Thank you very much.
Well, no,
Laura and I
I'm
talk
sorry.
about that a lot. It's when someone's offering takes you away from an actual effective treatment.
well, that's like me saying, like, well,
Did
I
I
have
just
cancer.
you,
And
Ryan? Did I just
I'll just say I apologize.
sorry? Then
Well,
just delete
but
that.
I stayed quiet for
Just
so
delete it.
long.
But
I
that-
thought I had a good
no,
wind up
but
there.
that's my thing. Like, it's like saying, like, oh man,
it's still Ryan's.
I have cancer and I don't have to worry about it, so I'm gonna take heroin so I don't remember that it, that it's
Not
even
even.
there.
No, not even that.
No, but my
For the
thing
record,
is that
this is the Skype hand signal for you're fucking me. You're fucking me right now.
my whole
It's just we just touched metaphorical dicks.
But
so
no.
we're gonna stop with that right now.
no, my whole thing is that you want to sit there and talk about how green coffee beans won't, is better for you than regular coffee beans, but if the sole difference between green coffee beans, because spoiler alert, every single coffee bean is green. The only difference between getting light roast, dark roast, whatever roast that you want is the amount of heat that you apply to it. Yeah, it will change the chemical compounds of it. It will undergo some kind of chemical reaction, but it's not gonna, make a difference as to where affecting you as far as your physical health wise goes.
Josh, what's the next diet craze?
I thought I was being good.
So Garcinia Cambogia, that was the next miracle drug that Dr. Oz said was the next fat burner and the revolutionary diet pill that would, you wouldn't have to do anything and would make a huge difference in your life. Now, Garcinia Cambogia, that is a fruit-like substance that is found in India and Southwest Asia.
Also known as Indonesia.
Well, I mean, I was
Yeah.
trying to be specific.
You're good.
And he basically claimed that it wouldn't change your diet today. It wouldn't change your physical activity of the day. And you could lose up to 4 pounds a month without doing anything whatsoever.
We have a video too is actually saying these type of things. He has had a lot of claims for Garcinia Cambogia.
Well, the big thing is that Dr. Oz never claimed that he instituted that a certain type of brand was the right way to go or anything like that. But after airing the segment that he claimed that Garcinia Cambogia was such a a big step in changing your life, the sales of the actual compound skyrocketed after that segment was aired.
And not only that, he had a whole bunch of different claims, like anything from, let's see, it increased your serotonin levels, it suppressed hunger for a while, it made you feel fuller for longer so you wouldn't eat more. It prevented the liver from actually converting the carbohydrates into fat cells in your body, which means it stops the liver function in general. He had the whole gamut of things that it would do in order to just increase your ability to lose fat over a time where you would not have to exercise or change your diet or anything else. It was just it was a miracle drug.
Yeah, this is the part of Rumor Flies where I say that Ryan shit all over everything I was going to talk about.
I'm sorry.
But Ryan's 100% correct. What Dr. Oz claimed was that it basically prevents your liver from converting sugar into to fat cells, which basically makes your belly bigger, or you get fatter by the end. His target audience is middle-aged women, and they're all worried about getting fatter.
Whoa! I'm gonna back this fucking train up right now.
So that's what he's preying upon. Okay.
Would you like to rephrase that?
No, I won't.
I love you, motherfucker. No.
But
motherfucker.
well, no. The main compound is hydroxylic acid. You know what? Suck a dick, Ryan. I don't understand what science means, okay?
Hydroxycitric acid.
So what it basically means is that it prevents all the fat cells from being formed within your liver, okay? That is the basic premise of what he is trying to sell.
So hydroxycitric acid has been run through the gamut from several different types of tests, from mice to humans. So there have been some evidence that mice have lost fat from this exposure to hydroxycitric acid, but no reputable studies, including double-blind placebo studies, which means that neither the tester nor the recipient of the supposed drug knows whether they have the actual drug or the placebo. We've talked about this before, but neither of them has known which one gets what, and the results have shown that there has not been a significant increase in fat loss between the two subjects, between the placebo group and the actual test drug.
But not only that, a study in 2013 showed that even though it was safe to take, it didn't necessarily mean that there was effectiveness against obesity as far as a large-scale and long-term clinical trials goes.
However, with the whole safe to take thing, Josh, you got a little bit of information on that one right there. We have two different approaches we can go by.
Well, there was...
How much of your money did Dr. Oz take, Josh? How much?
It was less than $100, I will say that.
Okay, then. All right. That's fine.
Garcinia Cambogia has a history before Dr. Oz.
Well, when they looked at all the trials of everything, they basically showed that hepatotoxicity was due to interference with your liver function, which basically means that there was drug-induced liver injury because of the drugs that you were taking.
Particularly hydroxycitric acid, which is the main component of Garcinia Cambogia.
Well,
Here's the thing. You don't really need your liver, though, so what's the damage? Oh, wait.
Dave,
Turns out.
Dave, do you know where we're from? I need my liver very much.
You get a lot of
So much. So much.
But
Can I have yours?
there was basically a 5-year study from 2004 to 2009 that basically suggested that hydroxycut contained, this compound.
Hydroxycut is what you saw at 3 a.m. on, let's say, Comedy Central or VH1 or any other channel.
Yeah,
there was always a
Shopping
infomercial
Network.
for it.
From 2004 2009, it was like the number one weight loss supplement infomercial that you saw, at 1 a.m. when you were watching TV.
Yeah, so Hydroxycut was pretty much the precursor to the pure form, which is Garcinia cambogia.
Yeah.
Both the same supplement, which use this hydroxycitric acid.
But not even with that. Even though it was within that, like, there was people that reported liver problems ranging from jaundice to damage that required a liver transplant. Like, that is a huge end of the spectrum. Like, that is just like saying, like, oh, I got a cut on my wrist to where, like, my arm has to be amputated. Like, there is no in between from there.
Pretty much, hydroxycitric acid has been shown to either be damaging to the liver, which is hepatotoxicity, which is specifically for the liver. Yes, we've mentioned it before. Dave believes that we don't need it, but I do.
Well, you guys just tend your own garden, okay? Because I'm not going to fall for the liberal lies.
The liberal lies?
Secondly, if that wasn't enough, Garcinia cambogia was also known to make a increase in serotonin. Correct, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, basically to the point where there was serotonin intoxication.
Yes.
Like, serotonin is what your body releases when you sleep, which means that if you have a serotonin intoxication and your body releases too much serotonin, it's called death.
Well, not only that, it helps to regulate mood. So, in most depressed people, they take something called SSRIs, which are serotonin reuptake inhibitors, right? I missed a letter there, but either way, no, it does. It totally does. For depressed people, there is an abundance of serotonin reuptake, and these SSRIs prevent that from happening, which allows for a regulation of serotonin, which kind of gives you the happy feels, which leads to dopamine being released in your system, which it's all a whole chemical thing. And that sounds very, very vague, but for the most part, serotonin, it was kind of what is responsible for your happy feels. However, it can also be responsible for a lot of other things, like, let's see, tremors, to the point of toxicity from serotonin.
You could have a seizure from it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this has actually been studied in several different cases. So I guess the wrap up of this is that Garcinia cambogia, no, it does not actually regulate fat in humans. It does not actually cut it in double-blind placebo studies.
Right.
For mice, maybe, not for humans. However, for humans, there have been negative effects, such as liver toxicity and death, as in the case of the hydroxycut between 2009
That is an
and
adverse
2014.
effect. Death.
Yes.
Hashtag adverse effect.
Yes.
Well, but that's the thing, though, is that even though Dr. Oz claims that, like, oh, I never advocated a certain brand or, a certain supplement that you should take, it doesn't matter because it all does the same thing. And look, I'll put it to you this way. It doesn't matter what gun you shoot yourself with. If you shoot yourself in the head, it's not going to end well.
That's the last time I... Never mind.
Your
I'm not even going to go with
analogies are
that.
so on point tonight.
But that's basically it.
Everybody knows you have the best analogies.
Nothing you said is wrong. Nothing you said is wrong. It's just amazing.
So, first off, you have the fact that you can have liver damage from this. So, and then afterwards, you can possibly have serotonin toxicity, which I did not even know was a thing until
Yeah.
I researched this.
I didn't know that was a thing either. But not even that. All of this shit that we're talking about, it's not regulated by the government anyway.
And yeah, exactly. And I guess this is where we go into our extras. That is the end for Garcinia cambogia and like Dr. Roz's weight loss pills. But we're going to go into a few little tidbits between the rest of the things that they may have in common. For instance, Dr. Roz and Alex Jones both are strongly against GMOs. Dr. Roz, once again, did it in a roundabout way, but Alex Jones has made himself very clear about his opinion on GMOs.
Alex Jones does nothing in a roundabout way.
Yeah, and you gotta at least respect him for that much.
You don't.
Nah.
But guys, we'll let you take over for Alex Jones's other bits because I know you have at least one. Dr. Oz created a scare in 2011 by saying there is a dangerous amount of arsenic in various apple juices, and failing to mention that the company that he paid to do those tests on apple juices did not discriminate between organic and inorganic arsenic. Now, there is a big difference between these two. So the inorganic arsenic is, actually that's cyanide that I'm thinking of, but inorganic arsenic is like, and then there were none types of levels of kill you immediately. Organic arsenic is present in a lot of different things like shellfish and many different fruits, and it is much...
It's also in rat poison. Any rat poison you find laying around, it's got some arsenic in it.
But that's mainly inorganic.
Okay, good to know.
So organic is much more present in natural things, and there is a test to discern between the two. Dr. Oz's team that he paid did not discern between the two. There was organic and inorganic.
Well, that's
and
a
they just
surprise.
lumped those two together, which made much higher results of arsenic present in apple juice. So that was flawed in the first place. Secondly, number one, apple juice is totally safe to drink. There may be some organic arsenic in there, but nothing that will ever poison your kids or you.
I appreciate the clarification, Ryan. Thank
Yes, my kids are not going to get poisoned. Secondly, Dr. Oz was subject to a 2014 Senate hearing for being complicit in scams via the promotion on his show, particularly for green coffee bean extract, which we talked about with Josh.
you. Well, not only that, the Garcinia Cambogia, that was all lumped under the same thing that he was brought in front of the a committee for.
He was brought up in front of Senate for being a con artist.
That's pretty much it, yeah.
And pretty much the Senate just said, okay, well, you're a con artist. No penalties for that. He still has a show.
Yeah, they just said, knock it off,
Yeah.
and then left.
In April 2015, 10 physicians across the United States sent a letter to Columbia University, formally asking to remove Dr. Oz as a professor from their staff.
Which
because-
basically Columbia was like, hey, we're an Ivy League university, and yeah, I mean, he kind of has some like quacky things that he talks about, but he brings us in a lot of money, so you can go fuck yourself.
But it's all cool, dude.
That's pretty much what they said.
He's also supported Reiki, spiritual mediums, several different alternative medicines, which that is more Blurry Photos forte than us, because
Yeah.
we're not here to actually debate.
facts.
We're just here for facts, and when it's something so vague, it's really hard for us to present something without getting in a fight about it. And I mean, you guys might know.
Guys, we're staunchly anti-powder keg issues.
Yeah, and guys, this is why we respect you, because you guys take the issues that nobody else wants to actually attack and make fun of. But that's what happens. But Dr. Oz has been, I guess it wraps up to Dr. Oz is one of those guys that I feel like if he did not have a daily show, if it was say weekly, he would have a lot better content and a lot better things that were not scare tactics. And I feel like Alex Jones has the same type of tactic, where it's more feeding off of, you should worry about why you're going to die from this, and this is why you should possibly look into this. Except Alex Jones is on this is why you should buy my product. And do you guys have anything else to add to that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, first of all, everything with Alex Jones comes down to, do you love your family? I mean, he instantly poses as I'm giving you two choices. Either one, fuck those losers who are sucking me dry, or yes, I have to keep them alive. Though, which is, I guess, from a marketing perspective, semi-brilliant.
All right, so you guys got anything left on Alex Jones to add to, for any little tidbits or anything else that we may have missed in the meantime?
Yes, he's got one last thing that he hammers on a lot, and it's something that we here at Blurry Photos love to make fun of, is his insistence that everyone needs colloidal silver in their lives. Colloidal silver, by definition, is just silver in a fluid suspension. It's not chemically bound to anything. It's just pixie dust. It's just silver dust in a fluid, and that this is something that everyone should be having in their lives. And he sells it under the name Silver Bullet, which you can get for $19.95. It is a fascinating, completely worthless item at 30 parts per million.
Okay.
And it is...
His website lists the description of the silver bullet, the colloidal silver, and doesn't actually say what it does.
Ever. Because he can't.
It just keeps talking these vagaries about how it's produced. For example, Alex's extensive search for a powerful colloidal silver product that is both free of artificial additives and utilizes high-quality process ensures for a truly unique product that has applications for both preparedness and regular use.
So
That's it.
Preparedness for what?
Yeah.
well, let me just ask
Yeah,
you.
you could be
Use
prepared
for what?
and you could use it regularly.
So
What else
if
could
I
you
may,
possibly want from a product?
So, if I'm a moderately literate redneck and I hear the term silver bullet, I'm thinking Coors Light. What is gonna
Hell
make me
yeah.
differentiate between the actual brewski versus what Alex Jones is trying to sell me?
The brewski will
depends
get you
on-
somewhere.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like there's
You know
much of
what? You have a
anything.
silver bullet, it'll take the edge off. Colloidal silver will not help you. As a matter of fact, according to a bunch of idiots called the National Institute for Health, colloidal silver can cause very serious side effects, including argyria, which Google it. Do yourself a terrifying favor and see what happens if you foolishly ingest too much silver. It turns you into a fucking smurf. It will literally permanently, inexorably dye you blue. And you don't get to come back from that. You get to live the rest of your life looking like that. And that's your issue.
It's Tobias Funke syndrome.
Exactly.
The FDA, it is. It is. It'll turn you into a solidly blue never nude forever. The FDA warned in 1999 that colloidal silver isn't safe or effective for treating any disease or condition. Now, the problem with the FDA is that the F stands for federal government. They're just part of the New World Order trying to keep you in the dark. And the Federal Trade Commission has even taken action against a number of companies because of their claims regarding colloidal silver. But that does not stop Alex Jones from selling Silver Bullet for only $19.95 for a jar of God knows what that'll only hurt you.
Mainly because I guess that kind of wraps this up. That's a perfect example. If it's not evaluated by the FDA, as long as you put that it's not evaluated by the FDA, you can sell literally whatever you want unless it is federally prohibited. And
Right.
that is a big problem.
And
with,
it's important
with
to
our
note that
system.
every single one of Alex Jones' products on the label has to list that it has never been evaluated by the FDA.
And the same goes for or even approved. And the same goes for Dr. Oz. It's a lot of those things where stuff he might be smart because he says he is not selling any of these things and he is not advocating them. Just he's using in a completely national/international platform to let people talk about these products that he supposedly does not advocate in order to not push them. It's very, very
Right.
snaky. That is snake oil
You
in
know-
its purest form. And that's how...
You know what?
Yeah.
What I think it all boils down to is that these people are preying on people's fear. They want to sell stuff to people to make profit for themselves because they know that people are in a state of mind where they don't feel safe about things. And when you use trigger words like, if you're Dr. Oz, you're talking about people's self-esteem and their self-image.
Or aging.
People
Yeah.
or aging, yeah. People don't feel good about that, especially his demographic, his self-proclaimed demographic, apparently.
Exactly.
But he's using that and turning that against people. Alex Jones going after, everybody's out to get you. I'm the one that's going to lead you to the promised land because I know what's up.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And he's turning that fear onto people, and people can't think straight. You know what I mean? When you are just concerned about answering a question, do you want somebody to get you or do you not want somebody to get you? What are you good? Like, you don't stop and think, well, wait a minute. Who is asking me this? Who is going to get me? Why are you doing? You just think yes or no.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
and that's coming from a place where as a species, I mean, as animals, we need to feel safe. And if there's any part of that makes us feel unsafe, automatically we're going to reject it. We're going to say, I'm not going to think about that. I don't need to, because instinctually I know better. And all it takes is just stopping for a minute and thinking critically just a little bit to protect yourself from falling down that fucking vortex of fear that these people are preying on.
Yeah, it's fear mongering. I mean, that is the most
that's absolutely what it is.
simplest way to put it. It's fear mongering. It is preying on people who want a solution that's quick and easy, whether it be to lose weight or to be healthy or whatever it is. They're looking for the quick out, as opposed to actually putting the time and effort to investigate what exactly these people are trying to sell them.
But that's almost putting on the target audience. I feel like it's more of like you go with the most primordial of emotions that people can work off of, and fear is one of them. It's a fight or flight type of thing. You have to go with a black and white type of deal to sell something to somebody. You don't want to give them the time to really think about, well, is this really going to affect me adversely or not? And Greg brought up Steve Jobs earlier. This is a great example. What we really want to drive home here was with snake oils is that a lot of them say, hey, what do you have to lose? That the worst is not going to hurt you. Well, it might hurt you because with a lot of these of these cures, you could be spending time actually doing something proactive that has been proven by science to actually cure you. Steve Jobs is a great example. He could have been saved. At least he would have been better percentages of being saved as opposed to doing all the holistic bullshit that he went through and then ended up dying because of it. I hate to put somebody like on the chopping block right there, but that's a perfect example of modern times. A lot of people could have been saved if they had just taken something that was recommended by something generally agreed upon, as opposed to somebody like, you could put any name you want to. Let's see, Sylvia Brown, Dr. Oz, Alex Jones, the list goes on and on and on. Any
hucksters.
Yeah. And it's just these people that are really not concerned with other people's well-being as much as
making a profit.
Their own profit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
you should you can listen if you want somebody who can tell you about this, and it's fun to listen to James Randi, the amazing Randi.
That's exactly who I
don't even get a start on James Randi. He's pretty fantastic.
I've written several letters to him, and he's written me many responses saying, "Stop bothering me." But
nice.
But it's one of those things. This is like the crux of what we like to cover, where it's education and it's entertaining. I mean, I know we've done this in a very informal manner, but at the same rate, the important message is that with these type of things, it's one thing to mislead somebody with a stupid fact about Facebook of the world's going to end next week or something like that,
right?
As opposed to leading somebody away from a legitimate cure to their ailments, or possibly cure to their mental wellness by doing something like, say, a medium that has no backing. It's one of those things where, yes, you are doing damage by steering them away from what is a much more surefire solution, or has actual proven odds to it. And
there's scientific fact to back it up what they're doing.
This has existed for millions of years.
Right.
Okay, thousands of years. I'm sorry, we haven't been...
The dinosaurs were taking colloidal silver. You need to take it as well to help your family make it through the next apocalypse from the
If
comet.
only they had silver bullet, they would have made it.
I got a fun little anecdote real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
We love those things.
Well, it's sort of an anecdote, but it was something I was reading when I was looking for some of this stuff. But apparently, the term snake oil kind of comes back from when they had Chinese laborers, coming over here and working on the railroads and stuff, and
taking our jobs,
and Turkiner, and they would apparently, this is what I read now. They would take snake oil that they had and use it on themselves, or take it to help relieve some of the aches and pains, from working all day. And people started asking, "Oh, what is that? How are you getting help from that?" And they're like, "Well, it's snake oil." And so people started taking rattlesnakes and trying to get the oil out of them. Of course, that's not gonna work.
Just twisting the oil right out of them.
I'm getting me some of that oil.
Wring out the snake there, but people would take it anyway, this rattlesnake, quote unquote oil, and nothing would happen. Well, somewhere along the way, somebody figured out the Chinese were getting the snake oil from China, where they would get it out of water snakes who would eat fish and therefore have some of that fish oil.
Omega-3 fatty acids.
The omega-3 fatty acids,
Okay.
which may or may not have. I don't know. I think they've debunked some of that recently, but it's better than just a desert-dwelling rattlesnake that eats crap. Not literal crap, but
You don't know that.
so there was like a kernel of truth, maybe, to snake oil at one time. I don't know. I just found that fascinating.
Well, the problem that you run into with a lot of these things is that it's much like the 1950s when people were like, "Oh, well, smoking cigarettes, that's not bad for you," and 20 years later they're like, "Yeah, it's probably not the best decision that you make." You could probably be doing better things with your lungs.
One little side thing is you brought up I was thinking about this earlier. You brought up Philip Morris. It sparked the memory again how Dr. Oz used the whole like my wife and kids argument. And Philip Morris, I remember watching a video of him going, "If smoking was demonstrably bad for you, would I allow my wife and kids to partake in cigarettes?" As he like takes a drag on camera.
Exactly.
I mean,
No, but that's
it's exactly the same thing, right? It's like it's just fascinating.
But that's Alex Jones. If you care about your wife, if you care about your family, type of thing.
Exactly.
If you don't care about yourself enough as a person, they will work on the people you actually care about more than yourself, and that is a little bit more evil, if you ask me. Agreed. It's just demonstrably sickening, and we make fun of these things, but at the same time, it's a very serious topic. And what's the answer to it? I don't have it. Do you guys have any answer to how to stop Alex Jones from selling bullshit to people?
I was gonna say education. I agree with Greg. That is the number one way.
Absolutely.
Well, in a way, these people don't want to hear the truth or what's good for them. You know what I mean?
As a parent,
Yeah.
Well,
That's the thing, is that these people who buy these products, they are buying, I honestly think, 10% product, 90% ideology.
well, that's exactly it. People are gonna believe what they want to believe, whether it's good for them or not is irrelelent.
It's a this versus that culture.
But if they
Right.
believe it's gonna be what's best for them, then they're gonna invest in it. And unfortunately, that they're just throwing their money away. But I mean that is the decision that they make at the end of the day.
And ultimately, it feels bad because with us doing this episode together, it's been great doing this with you guys. But I feel like it's going to be a preaching to the choir type of deal where we're not talking to anybody that needs to hear this.
Right.
We're not talking to
You're right.
to
Well, you
Tabitha
never know,
Ebersol
man.
and Betty Hutchinson.
you never know. Yeah,
Did I switch those last names up?
No, you got it. No, you did swap them up, but it's fine. They're all in there.
Okay.
It's all inclusive. It's
We're all in
fine.
there.
I don't know. I can't think of a solution to how to fix this type of thing. 'Cause
Well-
we've had Senate hearings, and nobody's going to stop Alex Jones from selling his snake oil. It's not going
Right.
to stop.
Well,
No, and by his own admission, it funds his operation and it funds whatever he wants it
Which
to fund.
funds an agenda. At least Dr. Oz is like, I'm just making a buck off of this. But if you're
Right.
funding another agenda, that's like, it's once again, you think one
I
person
feel
is
like-
better because they're being more forward about it, but at the same time,
I almost feel like Jones is more transparent, saying it funds Infowars, versus Oz is like, I'm not on the take, Joe.
which
That's true.
yeah, no, but in some ways like that, it's unfortunate, but in other ways you appreciate it. Yeah,
I
so
would say I appreciate it.
you can understand what he's trying to do.
So I guess the take home from this is that if you ever see anything that, quote, has the term miracle by it, immediately turn around from it and just do a little bit of research. If you see anything that says too come to be true,
What about Miracle Whip? Shit's delicious.
all right, guys, we're going to have to re-record this episode now. We're going to have to talk about miracle. Shh.
Everything's wrong.
Paradigm shifted.
Well, I mean, okay. So as far as I go, like, it's one of those things where, like, if it sounds too good to be true, the actual answer is it probably is.
Yeah, describe if you subscribe to caveat emptor.
If it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, and acts like an articuno, then it's probably not true.
articuno.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So,
Should have used a raspberry.
God damn it.
Anything else, Josh?
No, but it's just like that is the whole point of the episode between, us and Blurry Photos, is that there is no easy solution to these things. And these people that advertise these, bullshit, quick, easy fixes, that's normally not the case.
Ask your doctor, and if your doctor says something about it, you should probably trust them because they paid a lot more and are in a lot more debt in order to give you that answer.
Exactly.
We're living in the information age. You can find anything about anything online. Learn how to use the internet, and you're fine.
Well, that's exactly like I brought up, how in the 1950s where people were like, is smoking bad for you? They're like, no, there's no research that shows smoking is bad for you. And here we are now. It's like, yeah, you probably shouldn't do that unless you want lung cancer. Like, it's not the best alternative for you.
And I think we're actually going to see the downfall of a lot of these snake oil salesmen in the next few years because it's going to be very hard for them to back up their proof without getting caught within the next few weeks of them making this claim. This has happened several times. I mean, any presidential candidate can't say a single sentence without going on PolitiFact about it.
Right.
And it's going to be the same for scientists in the future or TV show hosts. It's going to be such a hard accountability thing where you're really going to need to do your research if you're ever going to be taken seriously.
Like
right now we're in a situation where people will always take the first thing that they hear, but I think it's going to change eventually. And I really hope it's the case, and that's me being hopeful. But
Are you saying that our podcast is going to be obsolete then?
go f*** yourself.
It's gonna become the source to which people look for factual information about the world around.
Guys, hold on. Before y'all continue, I got a rumor flies this. Hold on.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we've gone on long enough, but guys, thank you so much for going on this show.
Absolutely.
I'm glad we got to do a twofer on both of these scam artists, and I will say that with full confidence. I'm not going to pull any punches on that one right there. How can people find out about Blurry Photos elsewhere?
Right.
Oh, super easy. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, most podcast aggregators. You can find us on the web at blurryphotos.org. That's got our full archive. I think that I don't know how many Stitcher holds on to, but I know that iTunes only has our most recent episodes. So if you really want to dig deep in the weirdo hole, blurryphotos.org is the best place to go for it.
And YouTube.
And YouTube. Flora, what did I miss? Because I always miss something.
Blurry_photos at Twitter.
Ah!
Well, we
That's about it.
yeah, I mean, if they want to dig down Mel's hole and find you guys, then it's where to find
Zing!
That is one of my favorite, most ridiculous episodes you guys have done. It kept me awake on a very long plane flight, and it was great.
Nice.
As for us, Greg, how can people reach us?
Real quick, this is the season finale. Thank y'all so much for tolerating all of us for like 2 hours. So, one last time this season, we have www.rumorfliespodcast.com. We have at rumorflies on Twitter and Instagram, facebook.com/rumorflies. We are YouTube / a bunch of numbers and letters because we need 100 subscribers. Please help us do that. And we're on.
Oh man, my ASMR was so on.
I was just about to mention that shit. Greg
And then
needs
you
to.
just ruined it.
He needs to do
Unsubscribe.
a channel for that. Oh my
and
god.
then we're on. We're on Stitcher, Google Play, iTunes.
anywhere.
Yeah, seriously, it's our. Yeah, Google Plus, my favorite. And so yeah, please check us out. But seriously, check out Blurry Photos. They had us on Bowstone a while back. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
They were so generous to come on the show with us this time. Please check them out. They're
And
a fellow
we shall
member.
again.
Yes, and they are a awesome member of Dark Myths. So yeah.
And you know what? Screw it. They're also a part of the Chicago Podcast Cooperative,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Hey, that's true.
We have nothing to do with that.
Which we are not a part of. But Dave and
We're
David.
a member of so many gangs.
Dave and David, thank you guys so much for coming on here.
Hey, thank you
Oh,
guys.
this has
We
been a
really
blast.
appreciate
Thanks,
it.
guys.
We always enjoy hanging out with y'all, and it's always awesome to be on Bullstone and talk about the Schmidt scale for pain and things like that, or
Yeah, you need to go over a few more of those entries.
or
Oh, that was so fun.
or talking about Dr. Oz and Alex Jones and Colloidal Silver and things of that nature. But just once again, you guys are so much fun. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And if you guys want to find out ways to, if you didn't catch the ways to contact them, we'll have them in the show notes. Well, thank you guys for checking in on this episode of Rumor Flies. I'm Josh.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Greg from In Depth Media.
I'm Dave.
I'm David. Thank you guys again.
Thanks for checking us
Yeah,
out.
this has been a blast. Thanks, guys.
All right, bye.
Bye. This season's closing song is Taxidermist, Taxidermist by Lady Lamb.
Dislocation, pushy persuasion, ligament and bone, ligament and bone, crystal structures, defects and blunders, once turning all my minerals to stone. So I reintroduce me to myself. How do you do? I say I heard such lovely things about who you are and where you've been, but being me again, yes, back in me again. Semantic satiation, where I can say your name over and over till it means nothing. deliberate extinction of everything I know I was never meant to know about you, but you are a thorn with such secrets, and I have been fond and keen on your meekness. I've bled dry for your arms, and I've longed to gnaw your neck, fawning over it. And my love, my sweet love, of whom I am yet to unravel with. One night long, my pulse tap the beat of my heart out on your clavicle. One day we shall be in rapture, sweet in rapture. What anticipation, and how masterful